And here it is, right here. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to Mo. Here it is, right here. Here I am, right here. I hope you are right there. I've only just put up this notice about 10-15 minutes ago. So I don't really have that much of an anticipation of that much of a crowd to come and join the session. But if you have gotten the notice and you do have the time to spare, then come spare that time with the session. That thing that happens around about this time of the day is happening exactly at this time of the day. So if you are available right now, avail yourself of the session. One man went to Mo. The eagle has landed.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and Ipob families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 all will never do. He's another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 all will never do. He's another Savior. Holy, 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 all will never do. He's another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo. Mwanemo, it's an honor having you on board. When I'm singing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Sing along, holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. When I sing along, holy, 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 is another Savior. Getting it right and getting it fast now. Holy, 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 Nnamdi is another Savior. Holy, holy, getting it right, holy, fast, never freedom. Is another Savior. Yeah, for freedom. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujuku.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and Ipob families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafran War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafran army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, 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 all will never do. He's another Savior. They were singing out, holy, 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 all will never do. He's another Savior. Holy, 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 all will never do. He's another Savior. Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and he's leading the Biafrans to victory. In your madika, yabika kokwa namno wow. Hey, anamekele maduche mefo.
And there it is right there, the Holy, Holy song from the East. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu remains their other savior. But does he? Holy, 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 as guys, I bring you this. United Kingdom backs Buhari regime, designates IPOB members as terrorists who should not be protected. So there it is right there. There's often the chant that if the IPOB are terrorists, why does the international space not designate them as such, as the Nigerian country has done? So this often you hear as a clap back from the Eastern space. So it looks as though that response, that retort has been removed from the Easterners. United Kingdom backs Buhari regime, designates IPOB members as terrorists who should not be protected. So now how that then plays out with the Eastern narrative, we find out shortly. We find this out shortly as well. Allow courts to decide Nnamdi Kanu's matter. Buhari replies Southeast leaders. So Nnamdi Kanu still in the headline, even from incarceration, and Buhari finally opening up on that space. You know, a lot of clamor and a lot of agitation to have him released unconditionally. This is the desire of the East, but this is a desire that looks as though Buhari has turned down. Allow court to decide Nnamdi Kanu's matter. Buhari replies, our Southeast leaders. So there it is right there. I've got him and I'm keeping him, essentially what they are saying. Still all matters Eastern. Why Peter Obi orders risk rejection by Nigerians? Who's saying this? It's OHANAEZE, no one else. 2023, why Peter Obi orders risk rejection by Nigerians? A headline attributed to OHANAEZE Ndigbo. So quite why they feel the need to say that, we find out shortly. And in the season of declaration, it's just every man and his dog now wants to be president. Minister of Science Technology, Ogonaya Onu, formally declares for 2023 presidency. I too have $100 million is essentially what the narrative seems to be. This seems to be the Taka and Dabo that is going on within, especially the APC space. So all of that on the menu. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. Click on the like and subscribe button, of course, if you have not done that already. Let's come in then appropriately via the East as we listen to the Python dance.
Onyedu Ipob, Omeriwo Nindizu, Oniroya, Abakare, Mama Dawora, Olapori Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Olapori Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapoli Meri Nnamdi bu Onyedu Ipob, Omeriwo Nindizu, Ngiroya, Abakare, Mama Dawora, Unapoli Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapoli Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapoli Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapoli Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapoli Meri Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapoli Meri Nnamdi.
And there it is right there. Nnamdi wins the war. So that assertion will never change in the East. But does Nnamdi win the war is now the question. United Kingdom backs Buhari regime, designates IPOB members as terrorists who should not be protected. The United Kingdom has categorized the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB as a terrorist group and said it's let's take that again. The United Kingdom has categorized the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB as a terrorist group and said its members deserve no protection under its asylum and humanitarian policies. The decision was made earlier this month. The decision that was made earlier this month gives strong backing to the Buhari regime and could worsen the military separatist clashes raging in Nigeria's southeast. The regime has been cracking down on the region's population under the guise of hunting IPOB members, with thousands of deaths recorded across 5 Igbo-dominated states in recent months. United Kingdom authorities said IPOB's documented history of violence informed the decision, but did not emphasize the government's violence that has been described as disproportionate by rights groups like Amnesty International. IPOB is proscribed as a terrorist group by the Nigerian government, and members of the group and its paramilitary wing, the Eastern Security Network, created in December 2020, have reportedly committed human rights violations in Nigeria. See Indigenous People of Biafra IPOB and various media articles in activities and clashes between state and IPOB, the United Kingdom said in its latest update on the separatist group published this week. If a person has been involved with IPOB and or an affiliated group, Mossad or any other Biafran group that incites and uses violence to achieve its aims, decision makers must consider whether one or more of the exclusion clauses under the Refugee Convention is applicable. Persons who commit human rights violation must not be granted asylum. 2.2.4 if the person is excluded by the Refugee Convention, they will also be excluded from a grant of humanitarian protection, the government added. The movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra Masob is also another group seeking the breakaway of the Igbo ethnic group from Nigeria on the grounds of exclusion and corruption by the central government. The group, whilst not officially the predecessor of IPOB, has been less active than the latter. Questions about how the United Kingdom sees IPOB have flared since June 2021, when its leader, Nnamdi Kanu, was abducted by Nigerian mercenaries whilst traveling in Nairobi. He was carrying a British passport on the trip, which prompted his lawyers and family members to intensify pressure on the British government to do something about the abduction, which they say violates the international law on extradition, extraordinary rendition. A spokesman for IPOB did not immediately return a request seeking comments about the latest United Kingdom designation of the group, which was a reversal of the 2020 policy that encouraged granting asylum to IPOB separatist members fleeing to the United Kingdom to seek refuge. The decision has all but granted the Buhari regime a long-sought moral backing from the West in its ruthless deployment of the military against IPOB elements, which frequently split to every, I don't know what they wrote here, but which frequently split to everyday civilians across the region. The Canadian government has labeled the Nigerian military as a criminal organization with a history of genocides. The Buhari regime gazetted IPOB as a terrorist group in 2017, well before the group's armed elements started making headlines for untold atrocities. International groups at the time warned that the government's decision was high-handed and a pretext to escalate violence in the region, which has claimed marginalization under Mr. Buhari. So that was a heavy going reading somewhat, but for all the heavy going of the reading, the designation is now in place. So that narrative that the IPOB hide under to state that if they are a terror group, why have they not been designated internationally? That argument has now been removed from the Eastern space. So now they have been designated as a terror group by the United Kingdom. So, but does this then mean the ratcheting up even more of a military action against that space is the thing? Because this decision now by the United Kingdom essentially gives Mallam Buhari moral backing in what he's doing. So does it then escalate then his activities against the Igbos? It's something that we wait to see in the shortest possible time. So we wait to see that in the short term, as we wait to see this in also the short term. Allow court to decide Nnamdi Kanu's matter. Buhari replies, Southeast leaders. The president, Major General Buhari retired, has told Southeast leaders that the court will determine the fate of the indigenous people of Biafra leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Pardon me. He stated this during a meeting with leaders from the region at the new government house in Abakaliki, capital of the state. The Igbo leaders had pleaded with Buhari to release Kanu and Igbo and other Igbo youths in detentions across the country. The Igbo leaders made the plea in an address during a meeting with Buhari at the Executive Council Chamber, New Government House Abakaliki, capital of Ebonyi State. Chairman of the Southeast Traditional Rulers Council, Eze Charles Mpama, read the address. Correspondents had reported that Buhari on Thursday commenced on a 2-day walking visit of Ebonyi with the inauguration of projects at King David University of Medical Science, Uburu. The president's aircraft landed at Akanu Abiam International Airport, Enugu, at about 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Buhari was received by the governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State and some governors of the APC, including the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Governor Atiku Bagadu of Kebbi State, at the Akunu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo and his counterpart from Jigawa, Alhaji Badaru Abubakar, were also on a solidarity visit to welcome the president to Ebonyi. The president would conclude his visit to Ebonyi with a closed-door meeting with the Southeast leaders in Abakaliki before departing for Abuja on Friday. OHANAEZE had, in a statement on Tuesday, said Buhari's 2-day walking visit to Ebonyi would kickstart the process to get Nnamdi Kanu released. The statement reads, so that is essentially a get lost, by the way. Remember when who was it that Obasanjo held and the Sultan of Sokoto said, please release my son to me, and Obasanjo released it. So that respect is not reciprocated, of course, because they have no regard for the Southeast and the South by extension. They consider you a conquered people and they do with you as they will. The president would conclude his visit to Ebonyi with a closed-door meeting with the Southeast leaders in Abakaliki before departing for Abuja on Friday. OHANAEZE had, in a statement on Tuesday, said Buhari's 2-day walking visit to Ebonyi would kickstart the process to get Nnamdi Kanu released. The statement reads, OHANAEZE Indigo Worldwide has given assurances of peace and security ahead of the planned presidential visit to Ebonyi. This is part of the resolutions reached at the OHANAEZE Indigo Elders Council meeting held in Abakaliki on Tuesday, 3rd of May 2022. For translucence and clarity of purpose, President Muhammadu Buhari has been fair to the Indigo with federal projects, irrespective of the fact that his party, irrespective of the fact that his party's declined fortunes and acceptance in 2015 and 2019 election in the Southeast. But the chairman of the Southeast Governors and Ebonyi State Governor, Engineer Dave Umahi, has brought good tidings and paid huge sacrifices for Ndigbo to access the presidency and attract federal government projects and attention to the Southeast. The Elder Council was presided over by Prince Dr. Richard Ozobu, insisted that this is the best opportunity for Igbo leaders with Southeast governors to dialogue with President Buhari over the release of the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. Ndigbo's expectations are that such windows of opportunities must be fully utilized for positive results, as President Buhari will be received warmly by Ndigbo. This will be one of the most remarkable visits of Mr. President to the Southeast, as we accept that the president's 2-day working visit to Ebonyi State will change. That should be expected, by the way, but a badly written piece. I'm not reading these things badly, they're just badly written. As we'll expect, it should say, that the president's 2-day working visit to Ebonyi State will change the narrative that Buhari loves Ndigbo, and he will pick by kicking start the process that will release Nnamdi Kanu. So that is essentially what that says. I'm going to abandon it there because it's just too poorly written, but there it is right there. So let's go on to the next. It looks as though it's all matters Igbo with this session. Why Peter Obi others risk rejection by Nigerians? OHANAEZE. Igbo social cultural group OHANAEZE Ndigbo Worldwide has warned presidential aspirants of Southeast extraction in the 2023 presidential election that if they cannot prefer solutions to the insecurity bedeviling the region, Nigerians will not entrust them with power. This caution was contained in a statement made available to correspondents on Friday by Okechukwu Isigozoro, the Secretary General of OHANAEZE Ndigbo Worldwide. Senator Ayem Pius Ayim, Peter Obi, Sam Ohubanwa, Nwachukwu Anwakwenze, Senator Oji Uzokalu, Senator Godswill Akpabio, and Rotimi Amechi and Governor Yemsin Wike are amongst the Southeast and South-South presidential aspirants. OHANAEZE Ndigbo Worldwide expressed resentment over the indifference of the Southeast and South-South presidential aspirants towards the insecurity challenges of the Southeast. They should be aware of the fact that if they can't get solutions for the Southeast insecurity as soon as possible, Nigerians will not entrust them with the opportunity to be a superintendent over the affairs and security of the country in 2023. They are advised that unless they show concern over the Southeast insecurity and secession campaigns and addressed on how to unravel the dilemma of secessionist campaigns in the East, Nigerians will regard them as hypocritical, Jonas-faced pushovers, and cowards. It is apparent that most Igbo presidential aspirants are tactically circumventing issues of Southeast insecurity and Biafra agitation in their campaign tour across the country. Let me just pause there for a moment, because it looks as though these people are just saying what we were discussing yesterday verbatim. That's the one question that Peter Obi will have to find a way to negotiate is the Southeast question. The insecurity, the Eastern Security Network, the IPOB, and the Biafra question. All of these questions has to be addressed by any Southeasterner seeking to be president of Nigeria. But they said rightfully that they are tactically circumventing these questions. So they don't want to address it. So the whole of the Southeast is ravaged with insecurity, and you want to be the president of Nigeria, which is also ravaged with insecurity. If you had the panacea to the Nigerian insecurity, why didn't you test it first within your region? is what OHANAEZE is saying. It is apparent that most Igbo presidential aspirants are tactically circumventing issues of Southeast insecurity and Biafra agitation in their campaign tours across the country, which has automatically disqualified them in the first place of not being prepared to profess solutions to the menaces threatening the corporate governance and national unity of the country. OHANAEZE's statement reads in part. So there's really not much that you can quibble about those words because it's just the obvious, isn't it? Just as you say to Yemi Oshibanjo that if you have the solutions to Nigeria's problems, why did you not prefer it in all of the 7 years that you were the second in command? So the same question to the Southeast. If you have solutions to Nigeria's insecurity and economic problems, why did you not apply it in your region first? It's just an obvious question. There's nothing cheeky or rude about that. If you are asking that you can solve Nigeria's insecurity problems, and every single day we pick up the headlines is unknown soldier savages 10, unknown soldier kills 5, unknown soldier unknown gunmen or whatever they are called. So you go and solve that first as your calling card for the presidency. So this now the last readout, and then we see if there's anybody in the room to take it on. Minister of Science and Technology Ogbonnaya Onu formally declares for 2023 presidency. The Minister of Science, Technology and Innovations, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, has formally declared his interest to join the long list of presidential aspirants under the All Progressive Congress APC. The minister who announced his presidential ambition on Friday at the NUJ International Press Center. The event had dignitaries, including party faithfuls, friends, associates, and kinsmen. Ono said he deliberately delayed his announcement to allow Nigerians to return from festivities, considering the importance of his ambition. An accomplished engineer, administrator of and first executive governor of Abia State, Dr. Onu obtained his professional qualifications in chemical engineering at the University of Lagos, Nigeria, BSc First Class, and University of California, Berkeley, USA. He undertook extensive research in coal liquefaction and production of synthetic fuel under mild conditions, demonstrating that it was possible under relatively mild conditions to produce synthetic fuel comparable with crude oil. Dr. Onu was a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, Department of Chemical Engineering, where he became the pioneer head. He subsequently served as acting dean of Faculty of Engineering and elected member of the governing council of the university. In 1991, he contested the position of governor of the old Abia State and won to become the first executive governor of the state. He was also the first chairman, pardon me, he was also the first chairman, Conference of Nigerian Elected Governors. Sadly, his and his colleagues' tenure were truncated by the then military government. During this short tenure, he successfully abolished the state of origin syndrome in Abia State, founded the Abia State Polytechnic at Aba, and established the College of Technical Education in Orachukwu, the Broadcasting Corporation of Abia, and National Ambassadors newspaper, which then won several awards. So it goes on to give us his CV, essentially. So that's essentially it. Ogbonnaya Onu, another name to conjure with in the Nigerian presidential space. So it looks as though we have Vin. So Vin, are you there? Are you there, Vin?
Yes, please. I'm here, one man. Good afternoon.
Right. Good afternoon. Yeah, good to have you, Vin. So you now, of course, a supporter of the East. So how are you then digesting this news now that broke that the United Kingdom has now given the IPOB movement the designation of a terror group?
I am not bothered at all because when you look at the history of United Kingdom, they've been fighting anybody. In fact, if you look at the history of Israel, you can go as far as checking what the United Kingdom did there. When Mandela was also fighting the white apartheid in the South Africa, you will also, the history is there for all of us to, see and study and understand. The same United Kingdom proscribed Mandela ANC as a terrorist group. And that gave the rise for the apartheid system there to begin to massacre the black South Africans. It's on record. When you go to the Palestinian problem with Israel too, the same thing they did over there until Israel chased them out of that particular place. So I am not bothered. And when you look at the asylum, what is asylum? What is asylum? When they opened up for that asylum, like I told you here the other day, you say you are not aware of it. I told you that they gave asylum to IPOB members. They declared it. You say it is not true. But today I think we have seen it. The IPOB rejected that asylum, that they don't need asylum from the UK. They want to stay in their space and build their space in a level playing field. So whatever the UK is doing today, I am not surprised, because if you look at their body language and the traverse journey trip of the High Commissioner of Britain in Nigeria, it is everybody will know that this is coming, and let's see how it works out. And I still believe that as long as they are in court.
But does this designation not then give Buhari moral justification for the atrocities that he has been carrying out in the Southeast? So if he can now go to the Southeast and say, look, now the international community also consider them terrorists, so I can kill as many of them as I can.
Yeah, but the UK is just is a member of the United Nations, so UK cannot single-handedly designate a particular group, a terrorist group, and that will give the rise for the host nation to begin to attack and kill them. That is not obtainable. So I know they are in court. Let them go. I don't know. I don't think if they are that will give the Nigerian the audacity to begin to murder people anyhow in that particular space.
You see, because that designation is quite important. If the international community considers a group to be a terrorist group, then the country that is at the epicenter of that group, they can deploy a set of assets to combat it, as opposed to if the international community considers them to be freedom fighters. So if they were considered freedom fighters, then outside of normal policing, if the Nigerian state deploys assets outside of normal policing assets against them, then that will be considered a crime against humanity. But if they are considered a terror group, then the assets that the Nigerian state can deploy against them is all of the assets within their arsenal. So they can deploy military, they can bomb the whole place, they can do whatever under this new designation. So the eastern space now, Zambisa Forest.
You see, this is the imbalance that I am talking about. I always campaign on this platform. You abandon them and agreed, forgive, and provided a term called repentant terrorist. In fact, the United Nations Secretary General visited Nigeria and had a tete-a-tete with this so-called repentant terrorist, but he did not see it necessary to ask or question about Nnamdi Kanu that was kidnapped, rendition from Kenya, and the supporters that were not, that were never carried arm before, asked about them. but it is the terrorist, the repentant terrorist that he, had a tit-a-tat with. That is to show you that what is happening in the South will soon get to everybody, because the caliphate does not believe in you that from the South. South is an estate of their ancestors and grandfathers. That is what it is in their head. So if they finish with IPOB today, they are coming for the rest of the people. That is exactly, and like I always say here, IPOB has been a barrier for most of these things to happen. What that could have happened,
is the IPOB not also covered under the repentant terrorist program as well? So if they show repentance, they will rehabilitate them.
Oh, can I interject, please?
Go ahead.
One man, IPOB was not prescribed by the British. Do not listen to what Sahara Reporters is reporting. Go and read the declaration from the British government website. They were only excluded from asylum. They were excluded from being granted asylum because there has been reports of crime committed by the IPOBs, and they said they do not support the fact that IPOB will use violence to channel their cause. They did not prescribe IPOB terrorist group. They only said they are withdrawing their asylum of the IPOB because they believe they've committed violation against human. I forgot how they wrote it over there. So do not listen to what Sahara Reporters are saying. They are very, very lazy to read and write. They just want to say, they just need something to create this kind of environment where everybody's like, oh, because they need readers, they need clicks. If they don't have clicks, they don't make money. So they make this whole thing dramatic.
I'm on the British website right now.
Yeah, read it. I can forward this to you too if you want.
Don't worry, it's on my screen as we speak. UK.gov. In fact, I'll post it in the comment section.
Yeah, do not listen to Sahara Reporters.
No, don't worry. But the reading of what the UK government is saying is essentially a proscription of this separatist group.
You see, one man. What I would like to.
Can you go ahead and read it for us, one man? I have read it.
It's long and involved though, so I might not be able to read you the fullness of it. But
what I saw was the withdrawal. But when United Kingdom wants to start something, they start it gradually. That is what they do. They start it gradually. If you read what happened, in fact, what is baffling me is what I'm surprised is the action of United Kingdom. When you look at the Sudan today, it was United.
Sorry, Vin. Let me give you an exclusion clause. This is, and I've posted the link, by the way, in the comment section. So if anybody wants to read through, so this is from the UK government, and this is I'm reading clause 2.2, which is exclusion. So clause 2.21. IPOB is proscribed as a terrorist group by the Nigerian government, and members of the group and its paramilitary wing, the Eastern Security Network, created December 2020, have reportedly committed human rights violations in Nigeria. And then it goes on to add a hyperlink. See indigenous people of Biafra and various other media articles in active. So it goes on to cite examples of the atrocities. Then clause 2.22, Masob has been banned, but is not a proscribed terrorist group in Nigeria. It too has reportedly been involved in violent clashes with authorities. So that's, and then clause 2.23, if a person has been involved with IPOB and or an affiliated group, Masob, or any other Biafran group that incites or uses violence to achieve its aims, decision makers must consider whether one or more of the exclusion clauses under the Refugee Convention is applicable. Persons who commit human rights violation must not be granted asylum. Clause 2.24, if the person is excluded from the Refugee Convention, they will also be excluded from a grant of humanitarian protection. Clause 2.25, for further guidance on the exclusion clauses and restricted leave. And then it goes on to say, see the asylum instructions. So and this runs contrary to what was the policy position just as early as a year ago, which then tells you that there's a redesignation of IPOB to recategorize them as a terror group.
You see, there is a plan. You see, like I told you, when UK wants to start doing something, they start it gradually. And as they are biting you, they are blowing the cool air so that you won't feel it. This thing that they have triggered now, they are going to debate on it to find out if actually most of those write-ups they shared in that website is actually what IPOB has committed. But let's see how it's going to be. But I'm telling you, as long as UK is out to do this, I think, I have no doubt in my mind that they will go.
My brother, can I interject one more time, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, whatever the UK does is inconsequential at this point, because the UK has never been friends with the Biafra. The UK actually.
Yeah, but when they were granting you asylum last year, they were
your
best buddies.
We told them we don't want asylum. No, we told them we don't want asylum. We want our own country.
They don't need asylum. They came out categorically that told UK even that they don't need it. That's what they said. They
rejected it. Nobody applied for that asylum that I know. You were dancing all over the place. You were twerking and doing all so manners of.
Can I just drop my point real quick?
Yeah, go on, please.
So the UK government has never been friends with the Biafrans and all that. You should know right now that the sources of oil for the Brits was from Russia. In fact, for Europe was from Russia. So since that avenue has closed, they are trying to solidify their own position in Nigeria to make sure that the oil flow continues. That is why they are sentimental with the Nigerian government. It's not like they don't know the truth. They know the truth, but for their own national security, they will bend the truth just to adhere to their own national security. Because what did they do? They care only about themselves.
I agree with what you just said there.
Yeah, they care only about themselves.
This is essentially they are pandering to the Fulanese for reasons of being able to control the oil, like you said, because the Russia is closing down to them.
Wow, man.
No.
But that is true.
This is real political. This is real politics.
You see, my brother, one man, that is true. If you look at the Biafran War, you listen to the member of parliament in the United Kingdom that time that said over the BBC at that time that if they don't support Nigeria, Russia will. And it is a matter of oil, and they will control the oil. Russia will control the oil. So they fought Biafra for selfish interest. Okay?
Who has been controlling the Nigerian oil since 1950?
Come again?
Who has been controlling Nigerian oil since 1950?
Oh, if you look at the interview that they granted in that closed door meeting, published, I will send it to you. If you can give me I will send it to one man.
A simple question I asked: who has been controlling Nigerian oil since 1952?
It's the British.
So why now do you think they will not favor the Fulani? Because the Russians are they're stopping them from oil now.
They are scared of the Igbos. They know that if the Igbos break out without oil, they will not get it cheaper.
They are still controlling the oil. They are still controlling the oil today. They are still controlling the oil today. Shell, Chevron, they drill free oil in Nigeria. Only in Nigeria, we pay oil company to drill our oil and refine it and bring it to us again.
There is something I would like to tell you that is happening. Russia is no longer, they are not going to get the quota they are getting from the Russian, oil company. They are looking, even the gas, Europe is trying to turn their place now, to Nigeria. These are all, it is in the public domain. So what I'm telling you today, the interest of economic benefit from Nigeria has been the primary motive of the United Kingdom from even before independence.
I'm not doubting your opinion. That's your opinion. Rather,
it is fact. It's not opinion.
I'm not imposing my opinion on you. Me and you are not working in their intelligent home or whatever.
Why do you people
always like to be politically correct and diplomatic? We're not supposed to massage issues here.
What I'm saying British is controlling our oil, our resources. They have the first refusal right to our resources. I don't know why people say now because Russia, they control our oil minerals. They get it for free. So you saying this, meaning you are trying to tell me we have control of our oil ever since.
How will you say they get it for free? They get it.
Do you know the meaning of first refusal? Do you know
how you say for free? What do you mean by for free?
Let me tell you something. Our resources, British have the first refusal right to our resources. Now our oil, our crude, we rally around so much. They don't pay for it. We pay them to drill it. So what is that? Is that not free? It's not done anywhere in the world.
We have gold. What is your source? What is your source?
I don't know. I don't know.
You just come and hold on now.
One voice at a time.
This is a public domain now. It's just type in the Chevron. One is a servicing company. One is a drilling company. So sure I don't mistake both of them. But let me just use it generally. The Chevron drills our oil. We pay them by, like, if they drill 50 barrel, 5 million barrel, we pay them with 1 million barrel. They will give us 4 million barrel. What's that? Is that not for free?
No. What's your source for that?
That is the way it's being in Nigeria. We don't require our oil. We don't have engineers. We don't have technical offices. We don't have a service company. Schlumberger is a service company. We pay them with crude oil to service our well. We don't have anything. We have really nothing about crude.
But do you know? Do you know that it's 50 or 60% of their oil?
What?
Or is it Britain that controls the 60% of the oil?
They have the first refusal. They have the right deals. They own the right deals. Can you go down and get?
No. Well, those are your words. I've not verified that. So
yes,
so anybody listening,
my words. So
those are,
I'm not imposing, like I said, I'm not imposing on you. I'm just telling my word. So you do your own research, but that's what I'm saying. You don't impose it on me. Like they are trying to, because Russia is this. No, we understand the Russia oil is causing global crisis. Even Japan, I went to shop for my new baby. Things have gone up. $1,000, I couldn't buy anything. Things have gone up. We understand, but
let me make my point. Let me make my point. You see, thank you so much. You see, what I'm trying to tell you now is this. As long as UK wants to solidify their hold on the Nigerian oil, it is for their own economic interest. They want to get hold of it properly since Russia is now shaking. They want to get hold of it, and they are trying everything to make sure that that thing that will look like barrier to them is removed. And this is the reason why they are doing what they are doing today. It is not rocket science. It has been there for a long time. UK has been fighting the Biafrans by proxy. It is there. So I am not surprised. And
Vin,
once
can I
they
ask you a
start...
question, Vin?
Go ahead.
Do you think the British is involved in the kidnap of Nnamdi Kanu, just to continue with what you say, by removing the barriers?
It is obvious. Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't have no, let me just say, facts to that. But in my own opinion, in my feelings, it is obvious, because as their own person, if you will arrest someone that holds their citizenship, and you kept quiet all this long, and this man has been, treated the way he's treated there. I don't need a soothsayer to tell me that they had a hand in it. If you look at the relationship between Kenya, these are my words. These are my words.
That's speculation.
I take responsibility of what I say, but the body language of the United Kingdom will tell you that something is fishy.
All right.
Because for one, that is an embarrassment to the British government, the way their citizens were kidnapped and rendition.
It's not their citizen. Hold on, Chris. He's not their citizen. He's primarily a Nigerian and secondarily a Brit. He was a naturalized citizen, which gives him secondary status. And his foremost country is Nigeria. He is a Nigerian first, over above being a British passport holder.
Woman, I disagree. You know why? Because I'm a U.S. citizen. Before I became a citizen, I renounced my Nigeria citizenship and put forth my U.S. citizenship.
You're U.S. citizen.
That's not required in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, they make you renounce
nationality.
I agree, but they make you renounce your Nigerian citizen and
not
put
in the
your
UK.
U.S. citizen first.
Yeah, well, that may be in America.
Your state of origin, what was it written in your passport? Your state of origin, your U.S. passport. What was written there? Your state of origin.
Nigeria.
Whether Nigeria is written, and there's no doubt. I don't argue with you that I'm a naturalized citizen.
So what do you not try to say now?
Listen, my brother, I'm not arguing that I'm a naturalized citizen, but I'm telling you the process they make us go through.
Yes, I understand.
You renounce your Nigerian citizenship.
You just stayed the way like. You are America, Britain.
They didn't make you renounce anything. You did.
What are you saying?
My brother, if you don't want to renounce it, you won't become a citizen.
Can everybody hold on? Let's not make it rowdy. Let's hold on. Yeah, you're on the floor, Vin. But let's hear from Baba T, who is also American, and he seems to disagree somewhat with what Chris is saying. And I wasn't of the impression that you are forced to. Are you forced to renounce?
No, I have a dual citizenship as well, but we're not forced to. They don't force you to renounce it. That's of your own volition. So that is factually not incorrect. Okay,
my brother, when you're giving something to read and you don't have an option, what is that? They tell you raise your hand. I renounce this, and I pledge to be an American. This. What is that?
No,
did they give you an option to say, do you want to renounce Nigerian citizenship? And you say no. And they tell you, okay, continue with your pledge. Is that how they did it to you, my brother? Did they give you an option?
You said you renounce your Nigerian citizenship to get that.
Brother, you were made to renounce it when you were at your inauguration ceremony.
That's not true. That is incorrect.
But I'm telling you what I went through. You're telling me is incorrect. I'm telling you my experience.
Baba T, that is true.
No, what are you saying?
At the swearing-in ceremony, you are made to raise up your hand before the judge and denounce other citizenship of other country you belong, and you will swear that you becoming U.S. citizen and you are committed to it, and you will denounce your other citizenship. That is the practice. No, I don't know the way you did yours.
That is not true.
I don't know too.
Okay. Tell us your own experience.
Tell us your own differently.
It does not. No.
Tell us your own experience, Baba T.
I was in San Antonio. I did mine in San Antonio because I was.
How did you do it?
I was part of the military, but that's a different. No, you do go through everything you're saying. You do commit to the country, but not to the point where you have to necessarily denounce something else. Denouncing.
What are you saying?
My brother, you didn't read. You didn't understand what they gave you.
I don't know what.
Let him end.
You guys won't let me talk. I'm just gonna hold on and let you guys think and I'll reply. Since we're gonna talk over each other, so I don't know why you can't let people just have their own say, then you can reply. I'm not saying that you don't have. You do go through the swearing process. My understanding of this comment was that you have to necessarily give up the citizenship of another country. You have to uphold the country, your American citizen. Of course, I agree with that. But giving up the citizenship of a different country, that is of your own volition. It's not mandated. That's my point.
All right.
You uphold the American, being an American. Yes, I agree.
Okay, Mama, can I drop my point, please?
Once you give up the Nigerian citizenship, that is of your own volition, it's not mandated. That's my point.
Please, can I drop my point?
Okay. All right. Drop your point. Let Vin round off, and then we go on to Baba T.
Okay, so in a situation where Nnamdi Kanu actually came on air and denounced his Nigerian citizenship to the world, is that not relevant?
Well, it's not. It cannot renounce by public pronouncement. It has to be by some legal vehicle. It's not just by opening your mouth. It's not Islam that you say, I reject you. You have to do it formally and legally. It's not on Radio Biafra noise making. What are you talking about?
Wow. just wake up and create a UN law by yourself.
I say I renounce it. That's not how we work. So you have to go by legal rules.
You become
okay. So one man. So
I renounce my throne. I renounce my throne.
Before you cut me short, when he went to Kenya, he went to Kenya with a British passport, not a Nigerian passport.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? So him being renditioned from Kenya is still an embarrassment to the British government, to the crown. That shows that no UK citizen is safe outside of the jurisdiction.
Is it show the Kenyan record on their record? He came to their country by British passport.
Exactly.
No, he traveled by a British passport because
no, it's not sure, but he didn't fly to Kenya directly. He went to Ethiopia. He went by. Hold on. He entered Kenya by ground border. He's on the ground border.
How do you know?
Irrespective.
There is document from the Attorney General saying he came in and they don't know why he left.
Yes.
Hold
on, one at a time. But irrespective of how he went into Kenya, his travel document is still a British passport.
Wait. When you have multiple passports, you can fly into Nigeria with British passport and go back with Nigerian passport. Or you can go to Kenya, Ghana with Nigerian passport. Am I wrong?
But
yes,
if they are saying here, if they are saying
Ethiopia with a British passport, he went enter Kenya with a grand border with Nigerian passport.
Who told
you that? That will happen. I'm not saying that will happen because from what they presented, the document they presented is grand border.
Stop giving us fake news. Stop giving us fake news.
It is not true. It is not true. It is not true.
All right, let's get back to Vin. So Vin, you are speaking on the redesignation of our IPOB as a terror group.
Yes, like I said, I think I am not moved by whatever British has done. When you look at the history of British, the UK, United Kingdom, they've been doing it. They have been biased in many occasions against, entities or freedom fighters. And I can give you so many examples of whom they stood against. And at the end of it all, their victory and the freedom was, secured. So I am not bothered with what they do. They can do anything they want to do. But the will of the people, you cannot force. If it is possible for them to rule the world till today, when they told you in those days that when the sun rises from the south and is it where? To the east, you see the Union Jack there. Is the Union Jack there today? Time will only tell. So
what they used to say actually, Vin, is that the sun never falls on the British Empire. The sun never falls. Yeah.
But it has fallen since the other day. It has fallen. So if somebody will tell them that sun will fall on them today, would they agree? So they will not agree. So many countries has gone. Even as we speak now, Barbados has refused to recognize. I think the United Kingdom, Barbados. The woman over there.
But that narrative has been removed from the East now. That because that used to be their quick go-to retort that that the international community does not recognize Nigeria's proscription.
UK is not.
It says in document here that they do recognize the proscription, and they don't fall under the refugee status, so they don't consider them as a persecuted people.
I know.
And they are also in that document. Hold on. They also in that document referenced the atrocities being committed by IPOB to give justification for the designation. So that argument that the international community does not see IPOB as a terror group, that argument
is UK an international community? Is UK an international organization?
Community? Is it
an international organization?
It's not.
UK is not an international organization, and whatever they say, they are saying it based on their own interests and what they are going to get in that entity that they are fighting.
Can I interject, please?
Hold on, Chris. Let's hear from Ajanle Koko. Yeah.
Okay. One man. What is the implication of this? Does it mean that IPOB members in London that often come out and demonstrate and protest, does it mean they can't do it again? Will the British government go after them and arrest them as
no, I don't think they would. I think that still comes under freedom of expression. But what the wider implication is that it removes the gloves from the Buhari hand to go after them aggressively. Because if this is a tacit acknowledgement that IPOB is a terror group terrorizing in Nigeria, then it gives the Nigerian government the moral justification to unleash the fullness of their arsenal against the group. So it's no holds barred anymore, because it gives them then that fiat that they don't come under international humanitarian laws anymore, because the designation has been acknowledged internationally that this is a terror group. Yeah.
And then number two, let me ask this question. Yeah. Number two, what is the implication of this on Nnamdi Kanu trial? What do you think, woman?
Well, Nnamdi Kanu, because that was the next talking point, but Nnamdi Kanu, he's still under the Nigerian law, so he arrowheads an organization that has been proscribed and now designated as a terror group. So it's a terror leader. So he brackets under like Osama bin Laden and people like that. So then, but they have to wait, of course, against the evidence of his activities. So it doesn't bode well for Nnamdi Kanu, this British position.
So British is playing a very dangerous game. They are empowering the Nigerian administration, to go on.
No, they are sacrificing Nnamdi Kanu for oil.
Oh, you see,
it's dispensable now. What do they care? It's all just some Igbo guy.
So Mama, they did not say we designate IPOB. Mama, they did not say
but the coldness of it, though, is that not it?
Mama, the reason
that is what it means.
Mama, wait, no, I disagree, please.
Okay, go on. Disagree, please. Yeah, go on.
I disagree in the sense that they told you the reason they are withdrawing this refugee or asylum stuff is because IPOB has been has gone against the violated the human rights, something. They did not tell you it's because they've been prescribed by the British. They told you they are prescribed group by the Nigerian government. From what you read, they did not say we prescribe IPOB, a terrorist group. They told you the reason why we're withdrawing it is because they violated human rights. In those articles
no, this is it now. If you want me to reread it, there's no point, but I can't. But they said, they referenced it. They said IPOB is proscribed as a terrorist group by the Nigerian government.
Not by the British government, by the Nigerian government.
Hold on, but they are acknowledging it in British documentation. So they acknowledge it in British documentation.
If you read the documentation that they use in signing IPOB members to come apply for asylum, they use that same statement.
Okay, hold on. Let me just give you this paragraph, and you then tell me if this is not an acknowledgement that it is proscribed. IPOB is proscribed as a terrorist group by the Nigerian government, and members of the group and its paramilitary wing, the Eastern Security Network, created in December 2020, have reportedly committed human rights violations in Nigeria. So that last line, is that not an endorsement of the proscription?
Well, to your own opinion, you can see it like that. In my own opinion, they give you the reason. They are giving you the reason why they are withdrawing their refugee program for IPOB and MASOB. That is my own opinion.
Can I quickly say something? Sorry, I don't need to take you guys back. I just quickly call my uncles and my cousins and niece. Sorry, don't be offended, Chris. You are not forced to renounce your American citizenship. The only way you can renounce your American citizenship, they'll ask you, hold on. Said you came to America stateless, that's asylum. You declare you don't have passport. You came in through asylum. If you're married, if you are there through spouse or whatever, you're not required to denounce your state of origin citizenship. That's why you have two passports.
My brother, no problem. You win. You win. You don't need rocket science for that. You win. No problem. No problem. I can't be arguing what I know for fact.
Don't mind this and his
citizenship. You have Nigerian passport. How is that possible?
You are a Japanese man. You are in Japan. With an American. An American is telling you their own law. You from Japan. You are arguing.
Mama, hold on.
You win.
Hold on. Hold on. Sorry. Babati, sorry. Why I said this? My big brother is in Japan. He has a Japanese passport. My uncle has a Japanese passport. I don't have. Fine. But in Japan, they don't allow dual citizenship. I know that what happened in Japan. It's not a record science. You denounce Nigerian citizenship, they'll give you one passport. But you cannot have two passports and say you renounce your Nigerian passport. It's not done. You don't need record science for that. It's just simple common sense.
My brother, you win. You win. Can we proceed, please?
All right. Thank you. So go round off your thought, Vin. Because it's a short session, so I want to touch as many voices as I can. So round up your thoughts, and I'll go to Babati.
Okay. You see, I think I have said all I can say. I know concerning this. The attempted withdrawal of asylum. Benefits. To them, and I will also commend the IPOB because the very first time the UK announced this I told them that there is fire in the mountain, so everybody should begin to run. That is what I said. I said to them. Those were some of the platforms. See, when they want to deal with you, they first of all bring you in, and when you don't expect, that is the time they do what they want to do. I am not surprised with what they have done, and I hope that as they have done it to other people and those people today. My brother, Mandela was proscribed a terrorist. ANC was proscribed a terrorist by the United Kingdom, by the Queen. I'm not surprised, man. It's just that our people in the South has not seen, the implication of what is coming, which UK is doing by proxy. Thank you, Wama.
All right, thank you, Vin. So that was Vin opening up that conversation around the Nnamdi Kanu space. We're still staying with matters Eastern, but we're going to Babati this time around, and we're talking about Nigerian politics. It says, why Peter Obi, others risk rejection by Nigerians. This is OHANAEZE speaking, and they're speaking to the presidential space. So what they are saying is that the presidential aspirant of Igbo extraction, let me give you two paragraphs that actually sums it up. It says, they are advised that unless they show concerns over the Southeast insecurity and secession campaigns and addressed on how to unravel the dilemmas of secession campaigns in the East, Nigerians will regard them as hypocritical, Jonas-faced pushovers, and cowards. It is apparent that most Igbo presidential aspirants have tactically circumventing issues of Southeast insecurity and Biafra agitation in their campaign tours across the country, which has automatically disqualified them in the first place of not being prepared to profess solutions to the menaces threatening the corporate governance and national unity of the country. OHANAEZE statement reads. So the position being put by the OHANAEZE is that, look, the number one thing that the Nigerian state is battling with is insecurity. Over and above everything else, that's the one thing that grips the country. But that thing that grips the country especially also grips the Southeast. So now, a lot of Southeasterners now are in the forefront, pushing aggressively to be the first citizen of the country. So what OHANAEZE is saying is that when you get to Aso Rock or when you go around the country canvassing for votes, how do you address this insecurity in your own place? When the whole of the Igbo land is burning every single day, you cannot resolve that, and you are going to the national space to say you are the solution to the insecurity in Nigeria. Hypocritical, or OHANAEZE described this as. Do you think that's been too harsh, Babati?
Good morning, everybody. Once again, thanks for having me. You remember a few weeks ago, about a month ago, when you were conducting some kind of poll about the people we want to, we wish would be in that position, and most people in this page wanted Peter Obi, right? And you mentioned that, and I brought up the fact that it's going to be questioned about this IPOB issue, and people kind of downplayed it and said, well, he's denounced it, it should go away, he shouldn't have a problem with it. And you can see that it's resurfacing, like I said, and it's an issue that they have to grapple with. I don't think the OHANAEZE Idigbo was harsh. They're very brutal. They're very honest. This is an issue that they have to deal with. When you live in a society that, you know, you have a lot of very tribal and distrust of the Igbos, and we still have issues from the civil war that is still brawling. This kind of attitude from the IPOB movement does not augur well with, you know, anybody running for office as an Igbo person. And if you put that person in this precarious position to always have to either defend you or oppose you, it's going to hurt them politically. And I mentioned that time and
either way, they are damned, Babati.
Yeah.
If they defend them, they are damned, and if they oppose them, they are damned. So damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they say they are anti-Biafra IPOB, then the East goes against them automatically. If they say they are for, the country goes against them, but they cannot sit on the fence, can they, Babati?
Right. Because you cannot then say the option is between having a Biafra nation and having a presidency. In my mind, as a friend of your tribe, looking at the landscape, both locally and internationally, there's no support internationally for your movement. Obviously, based on the news we're hearing today, there's no main support for you. Because why? No, in the international scene, for a country to support you against the state, there has to be an incentive, right? Maybe oil or some resources. You don't have the South with you, so there's no oil to give anybody to support you on the international level. So you don't have that international support. And I've always maintained that for the Igbos, being the president will be the most viable way to go. And if you also sabotage that as well, I don't see what the game plan is. So I would suggest that maybe perhaps bite your tongue for a minute, get this presidency thing first, and take it from there. That would be a more logical approach to it. But putting your...
Babati, I have a question for you, please.
Yes, sir. Go ahead and ask me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Where's the noise coming from? Okay.
I think it's coming from you, but carry on. Yeah.
No, not me, man. You see, what I'm trying to... the question I would like to ask you is this. In 2014, 2015, when Muhammadu Buhari was campaigning for, to become the president, was the North not ravaged by Boko Haram?
I agree with you that they were.
Very good question.
Yeah, but you got to understand, they are not. They are more politically.
But despite that, despite that, North was ravaged so much territories were taken over that time. Tinubu still supported him, irrespective of the crises that were humongous crises that were going on in that northern axis. So why is it today the narrative, when it comes to anybody from the Igbo extraction, the narrative changes?
Mr. Vane, sorry, Mr. Vane, when the North were campaigning that 2014, that terrorism was their main point, their point of, or how do I say, use which word?
They are campaigning.
Your campaigning point. Even Buhari said that when I enter in 3 months, I'll flush out Boko Haram. Who is Boko Haram? So when we just say things, and pick the one we like and leave the other one. Since we're here to enlighten people, we should say the way it is, then people will pick it.
You've made the point. Let's hear from Ajande Koko, and then we get back to Babati. But Ajande Koko, you wanted to come in.
Look, OHANAEZE is a bunch of confused
confused people. Yeah. I support you.
Ajande Koko, God bless you, Ajande Koko.
We are a bunch of confused elderly people.
I'm telling you.
They are talking from both sides of their mouth. a group of people that have said this several times on a national TV before the world that it is the time for Igbo turn for presidency. They said it openly that they don't need any, but that presidency, it is the turn for the Igbos. They said it several times. And they are now the ones saying that, hey, why are you contesting for presidency when the
that's not what they are saying. What they are saying, Ajanle Koko, is that they have to, the lead Igbo politicians and political space, they have to, as a matter of urgency, tackle immediately the insurrections and the violence in the Southeast, because it is this same narrative that grips the country. So if they cannot resolve it, if they cannot profess solutions to the insecurity in the Southeast, then that automatically disqualifies them from being Nigerian president, because the same problem that the Southeast is grappling with is essentially the same problem that the Nigerian state is grappling with. So if you cannot solve it at home, how can you then say you can solve it abroad? That is their argument.
How can they solve it now? Are they in the people contesting for presidency? Are they in position of power? Do they have any authority to solve it?
They can profess solutions. They can speak to it.
They are
They said they are tactically circumventing the issue, that they are avoiding it. They are doing Lionel Messi around IPOB. They are dribbling around.
They said they are. Oh, okay. I get what you mean. So, but look, let me tell you, these people. Obi have disassociated from himself from IPOB. He said he does not believe in what they are doing to divide Nigeria. They have made statement of rejection of what do you call these people? Faceless. What do you call them?
Unknown government.
What else do they want? What do they?
Have they proffered solutions? Have they proffered solutions?
Yes. Obi particularly is offering, if said it's going to use economic power, economic security. Want to give Nigerian economic security, and that will be a permanent. That will be one of the strongest solutions to the issue of insecurity. When you empower people economically, that will, bring a strong, that will be a strong panacea to that problem that is on the ground. But a situation where you have a greater number of our youth unemployed, and they are laying around. The government itself has failed to equip the security network. The government does not have a good, intelligent security network. They don't equip the police. They don't equip the military well. What do you want to blame the aspirant? These people have been saying in their own way their preferred solution to the problem. I don't get what these OHANAEZE people are. I don't get their position, man. They come out with always confusing position all the time. Contradicting that they will say one thing, another day they will come out and contradict what they said earlier. Another time again they will come. They are just bunch of confused elderly people there, man.
Ogadale Koko, do you think it's only OHANAEZE to be blamed for this in the Eastern region?
All right. So let's get back to Babati for time. But Babati, Ogadale Koko suggests that these people are confused. But are they confused, or are they using the aspirations of these people to pressure them to actually do something about what seems to have a vice grip on the Southeast? Yeah. Are they confused, or are they being tactical?
No, I disagree. They're not confused. Do you know? They said the Yorubas will say that when the child is caught in the tree, the elders know where it's going to fall. And I'm going to give you guys a hot take here, and you might get emotional about it. You don't like it, don't like it. If the Igbos don't get this presidency in 2023, not the ticket, but the post, I am going to blame IPOB and their knucklehead leader, Kanu. They should be held responsible for not only screwing them up this year, but screwing them up for the next 16 years. You guys don't see the bigger picture.
So, my brother, we should put our hands in a
Hold on. No, those are his thoughts. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
I am going to blame their knucklehead leader for screwing up his own tribe for the next 16 years in that country. Because the so-called Biafra movement has clearly failed. Obviously, if you have any referendum in that country, you'll be screwed, and you don't get the presidency. So you lost 0-3. Hold him responsible. And for guys to continue to come here and defend the indefensible is getting tiring. There's no game plan. There's no future. You keep freestyling. Your guy is in prison. You are killing your own people. You're your own economy, and we're here defending some IPOB. In fact, I'm tired of these people. I am tired of this IPOB movement and their so-called sympathizers.
Let them go. If you're tired, let them go.
If you are tired with them, then you have to create way for them to leave you.
If you
as simple as that. Don't keep them there and begin to treat them as if they're second-class and you keep on talking like this. I don't buy this from you.
Can you hold on, please, Vin?
Can you call Nnamdi Kanu a knucklehead? Is this guy there knucklehead too?
All right. If you had the decision, Babati, would you
let this?
No, can you hold on, please? If you had the decision, Babati, would you let the Southeasterners go just for a bit of peace and quiet?
I would, because this is the process. I would say let's have a referendum within that space. Have an honest referendum and say, you know what, guys, let's not Biafra. The older Biafra is gone. That's just the reality. Southeast, that space, have an honest referendum and poll and let the people decide.
How do you think that referendum would go?
Trust me, they will stay in Nigeria.
I think so.
That will go
no. Listen to me.
Nowhere. They won't go nowhere.
Let me finish before I eat my time because it's a very short period. Nobody wants to be Lesotho. Because you'll be landlocked. It's not a smart play. So I'll say, if you just do Southeast only and it's an honest referendum, they will choose. You have, I'll say 60-40 that will choose to stay in Nigeria.
You think they'll get as much as 40% that wants to go? Because I will probably say 80-20.
Yeah, but I'm just being, at least fair because they might turn from emotions and stuff. But they will still lose because there's no economic benefit being. Go and find out what's going on in South Africa with those.
Let's start with your referendum. If you believe so, just give the referendum.
If you believe in this, let's just get it.
I am not saying
put it in the floor so that everybody will agree. Not just making all this theory that I don't find.
Hold on. Babati has the space, but Babati. Are you suggesting then that this real agitation is more a vocal minority than the popular will? Is it more just because they say the loudest voice is what you hear, isn't it? But is it just a vocal small minority that is around this story, regurgitating it as though it was because I am not also convinced that if we have that referendum, the East will choose to leave.
Because the smart ones in that space understand that there will be an economic benefit living and being landlocked. Okay, and secondly, when you are fighting in a multi-tribal environment and you don't have that much political power, you play smart. It's like being a black man running for president in America, for instance. You cannot compare yourself to a Bush if you're an Obama running in 2008. You play different. So they come out like they have that political strength or sagacity. And I'm guys, wait a minute. You don't even have that much power in the first place. Play smart. That's my point. Play it smart. And from let me just round up. You lost your so-called Biafra movement. You're gonna get screwed up if we have a referendum or something like that. The so-called OB is gonna lose. So where's the win? 0-3. And once again, when you lose this thing, like I'm saying, I'm going to blame IPOB and their knucklehead leader for screwing the Igbo people up. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So, but setting aside how forcefully Babati asserted it, if you look at the permutations, this is there's very difficult to argue against what Babati is saying, because the best chance for an Igbo presidency is this golden moment in time. But the biggest obstacle to that Igbo presidency is the Biafra agitation. And you would have thought that the Easterners would have read the smoke signals in the skies to peter down their agitation and the violence, just to allow this golden moment to happen. And then if the golden moment does not happen, they can recalibrate after the elections. But every single time, what we are hearing, just look at those two soldiers that they went to get married. We saw what happened. And all of those narratives. So that those narratives are now competing with the narrative of an Igbo presidency, the excellence of Peter Obi, etc. So they are competing for that space as the East, as how the country should view the East. So if those narratives were not there and we are focused on Peter Obi just solely, he stands an even better chance, to capture that seat. And this is the moment now. But the one thing that is tied to his leg that is having to drag along to convince people are the Eastern Security Network, the unknown gunmen, the IPOB narrative, and the ceaseless agitation within that space. So that is what Babati, I think, is referencing. You see, this is it.
No. I'm being honest. It's an later. That is the guy. Don't
worry. But thank you, Babati. So for reasons of time, let's go from you to Ajanle Koko, who more sympathetic in his tonality towards the East, I suspect.
One man. So I will not have my time.
Oh, let the World Peace go. Let him go.
Okay. World Peace then. Let me come to you, World Peace. And I'll have you speak on what we have spoken on already, and then wrap into that Buhari's visit to the Southeast. So a lot of build up to that visit. OHANAEZE is having their endless meetings that this visit is signaling to a possible release of Nnamdi Kanu. Buhari arrives at Ebonyi State only to pour water on all of that, to say no, Nnamdi Kanu will go through the court processes and the decision on his fate is rested within the courts. So what are you making of this expectation and expectation dashed, the distancing and the rebracketing by the British, and OHANAEZE telling us that hell will freeze over before Nigeria has an Igbo president? All of that are World Peace.
Okay, first of all, I don't know the reason why Buhari went to Ebonyi State.
Ebonyi State.
Ebonyi State. He went there probably
on a state visit now.
Visit, something like that. And he distanced himself very, 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 very fast. And this is what Igbo leaders should have done from the beginning when this ESN or no government saga started. Distance yourself from them. Like, come, these people don't speak for us. We're not in support of them. We don't know what they are doing. Of course, everybody has the right to agitate, but these people are not speaking for us. Then going to ask Buhari that means they just confirmed Buhari's greatest fear again for the second time. Because first of all, don't forget, they went to Abuja before. The boy is good. What do they call his name? Amici, that old guy. The boy is, aka the boy is good, and some other old Igbo elite went to Abuja to ask for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. But these people have never came out since the killing in East to have an Eastern meeting, just for show, so people see that, okay, this was showing concern, like you're holding meeting to see the way forward for this thing to stop. No, nothing like that. But they packed themselves, they went to Abuja. Now again, same thing again, they went to Buhari again in Ebonyi. This is killing their chances. This is making people to distrust them. This makes people to believe that there are so many things behind this Ipob and ESN than the eye can see. Of course, Nigeria is in problem. Of course, we are suffering the problem. But you guys should not go this way. Now, UK have added to it. And people are saying UK does not matter. Don't forget, UK and America, they control the UN space. Whatever those people say stands. And most of us are talking from abroad here, because of the UK power. And we are saying it does not count. We are trying to help the IPOB so that they can help us. Nobody hates them. But what they are doing, we are against it. This action has shot them on their foot for the next 20 years. It's too late for them to start doing all this. The Igbo, the Indigbo, the OHANAEZE, the Igbo leaders, the more they come out to support or to speak about that in that space, the more make people to trust them. It's wrong. If you can blame on, even though you blame on UK, that UK is doing for all year, yes, they say that you just you name a dog a bad name so you can kill it. You are giving the Nigerian government the ammo to kill you or to do what you want them to do to you, because you are behaving that man they are describing you. You just push out the soldier man, cut off his head. Then you say you're looking for peace. Then when if they ask you, say it's unknown gunmen. Oh, we are sitting at home. It's wrong. And again, I want to ask Vin this question: is IPOB speaking for the Igbos, or are the Igbos speaking for the IPOB? Please, I want to know, Mr. Vin.
Black peace, eh?
What peace?
The world peace. Oh, okay. You see, the IPOB is an organization just like the former MASSOB that are fighting for what they perceive are injustices that is being created upon them. And then they don't deserve it. So they have their own mind. And when you look at the youth over there, they carry the larger population. That is why we talk of that referendum. You will be surprised. And
are
mind
they speaking for Igbos? As in general?
They are speaking for the Biafran.
Okay,
they are speaking on behalf of the Biafran people. And when you people say, when you people, the Biafrans, you know who the Biafrans are. When you people, when you people, listen, there's something I would just like to drop before you go, if you can permit me. When you people say that they are landlocked, what is the meaning of landlocked? Burkina Faso is landlocked.
Yes.
Burkina Faso is landlocked. Is their economy not better than even Nigeria and Ghana? Are they not better in economic?
Is that your point? That your point?
This is a landlocked issue. Oh, they are landlocked, they will suffer, and this is just
okay.
Just to kill it out and give it a bad name there.
Gavin, so are the Igbos now speaking for IPOB?
Igbos speaking for IPOB?
Yeah, since IPOB is not speaking for Igbos, I believe you are not IPOB. You're not a member of IPOB. So
I support IPOB. I support Biafra. I support Biafra and I support IPOB.
Okay, hold on. Are the Igbos in general speaking for IPOB?
Look, where are you going to with this?
I don't know where you're going with this. I don't care. I don't care whether the Igbos. I don't care whether the Igbos is just a particular tribe in that Biafran zone. So I don't know whether I don't care whether they speak for them or they don't. So
okay,
that is not
you cannot see where I'm going. You cannot see where I'm going to, because whenever you attack the IPOB, attack Igbo, they'll tell you IPOB is just on their own, just a group doing whatever they feel they are doing because they feel they are being marginalized and all that. But by the time you come to the Igbo space and like say, okay, now since you say IPOB are doing what they are doing by themselves, so are you people supporting them or are you people speaking for them? Then you start hearing, I don't care what they are doing, I don't care what people say. You have to have two parallel lines to which that these people are on their own. Now we, the Igbos community, we are not in support of them. Then people cannot start taking you guys serious. And the landlocked issue and referendum, people keep screaming referendum. Scotland did referendum. Don't you know there's Scotland committee in UK? When they did referendum,
the atrocities that are committed in Nigeria is the same thing that is happening in UK.
Hold on now. Hold on now.
Is it the same thing obtainable in UK?
Hold on now. Let me finish. Then you hold on. Please hold on 1 minute. People left Scotland. People left UK and went back to Scotland to vote. You vote in your region, in your state, in your country to have a referendum. Don't expect you want to conduct a referendum. You'll be in Lagos, be voting for about to have a free state. It's not going to happen like that. You have to move your properties or yourself, go back to Aba and vote there. If you win, then you stay there. You become a citizen of the country of there, you stay there. That's referendum. Referendum has happened in Nigeria before 1963. It's not the first time you are crying for it.
So when the Midwest voted for referendum, so they left Kanu and came back to Midwest, right?
No. Yes, everybody in Midwest voted. That's why it was those data.
They carried their property. They carried their property from the Kanu from North and came back.
Yeah, that's why I call it Midwest, because we were not in debt and Kanu.
It is not true. You don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
It's not true.
Hold on.
It's not true. You don't know what you're talking about.
Gentlemen, hold on. Let's hear from Ajanle Koko, who wanted to come in. Let's hear from Ajanle Koko.
World peace. You have been saying that Igbo leaders have not done anything. They have not spoken against Ipob. They have not. So that's totally untrue.
Please, can you show me national newspaper when they had a meeting against Ipob in Nigeria for the past 3 years?
Hold on now.
Just give the link to. I want to see.
Hold on. You see, the political class, the political leaders in Igbo land have spoken several times against IPOB. They have made several statements that they believe in oneness of Nigeria. Even OHANAEZE said the same thing, that they believe in oneness of Nigeria. They don't believe in IPOB. They don't fight of IPOB. What IPOB stands for is against the existence of Nigeria. They want Igbo land. They want Biafran land. They want to have a government of Biafra on Biafran land. But the political leaders have said several times, including OHANAEZE, they are not in line with them. What else do you want them to do? Why are you saying here that Igbo leaders have not done anything they did? They have done a lot. They have spoken a lot.
Because I have not seen. I just said, just present your newspaper, national paper.
What is national? This is clear. One man can testify to it. Everybody can say they have came out. They came out several times in opposition against IPOB. That is a fact. I'm not just. It is not an opinion. So everything you have been saying is just your opinion. Maybe it's based on your bias against Igbo people. I don't understand it. So what you are saying is totally untrue. It's unfactual in totality. So let us get it right. So I just want to chip in that for you. What you are saying is totally untrue. They are
okay. I said. I'm saying my word again. Hold on. Hold on. You just came. Hold on. It's my time. I'm talking. Hold on. Calm down. It's my time. Hold on now. It's my time. When I finish, you just came in and you start talking. You just came in. I'm on the floor. I've been
listening to you guys.
Hold on now. Somebody next person comes in. When the next person comes in, you can interject or you can interject. Let me reply.
I wish you were saying something that is making sense, but okay, continue.
You can have the floor. Continue. Talk. Isibiri, talk.
Ajanle Koko has just told you. In fact, even if they do not tell you, how can you be making statements that are clearly untrue? In fact, one of the problems we're having with the Ipob have been having with the Eastern leaders, or whether it's political or OHANAEZE, is it not because they are distancing themselves from the struggle all this while?
You coming to tell me what Adeliko said, or you coming to counter me? Paste the link. Just paste the link.
Have I finished talking?
Paste the link. I don't want to hear. The tribunal of Vanguard, where Igbo leaders met and talk against IPOB.
I should paste the link that they've been distancing themselves from IPOB.
They had a meeting. Yes, when Igbo was doing what he was doing.
Okay, which link?
It was on newspaper. It distanced itself from Igbo. Some governor distanced themselves. Western governor distanced themselves from Igbo. It was on newspaper.
I don't know. Maybe it's the distance. Maybe that Japan. Maybe news is not.
No. We are talking facts here.
No, that's what I'm telling you now. Maybe
I want other people to prove me wrong, or one man prove me wrong.
Let me give you.
Sorry, what conversation are you having now? Because I'm just
no. The one is still arguing that the Eastern leaders did not the politicians and OHANAEZE.
I'm what peace.
Black peace. Do you know that it was the governors elect that subscribed to the prescription of IPOB? Do you know that?
I'm not.
You will not know because
Mr. Bean, sorry. Hold on. Let me answer Bean now. Let me answer Bean. You're not the only good man here now. Let me answer Bean. Calm down. Mr. Bean, except a daft man will not know that. When it comes to security issue in Nigeria, before the Nigerian state can prescribe Ipob and terrorist group, they must hear from the state security apparatus and the people in charge, from the governor to this thing, from the governor to
what is the difference?
Hold on now. So what you're saying, listen.
You see, even the audience are saying one at a time.
Listen. So please, what I said, please show me in Vanguard, national newspaper, where Igbo leaders conveyed, distancing themselves against this what's going on in the East. That's why I said, I'm not saying normally, or as in how you put it, it didn't happen. It happened. But on newspaper, what people can see, the layman can see. What the layman can see is it on the paper. We can see from the West when the Tinubu and some other governor distancing himself from Igboho.
On the
Where
newspaper?
is it in the East? Yes.
So you want it on? You only want it on the newspaper.
So
you don't want to know. You don't want to know if they distance themselves or not. You just want it on the newspaper. One man, I think we're having a degenerative conversation.
One man, you cannot be allowing all this falsehood on your platform. There is no way Tinubu ever spoke of Igboho. Bring it out. All the leaders have been distancing themselves.
When Tinubu was asked on national TV what he thinks about the Igboho agitation, what was his response?
What was his response? I've never heard Tinubu talk about Igboho.
Now you are saying degeneration. You are saying degenerated, and you're using this kind of word, this kind of word in a national TV on a platform like this. And people are looking at you and just laughing.
I'm not sure what conversation.
And bring a link.
One man, don't forget about comparing Igboho and Tinubu. Your argument is that the Southeast politicians and leaders did not distance themselves, and everybody is telling you that that's a delusion.
Lie. I think
that's a lie.
Hold on. What our world peace is saying is that they did not do it with sufficient enough of a robust.
But that is also a lie, because these people from day one. These people from day one have been distancing themselves.
Were they robust in their distancing? Was it robust?
One man. They were in fact the problem.
If they are not robust, why are they inviting the military to come in?
The major problem Ipob has been having, or with these people, is it not because of they have not recognized they are not carrying them along? So what are we talking about? When Opus Ondima inviting the military was for what?
One intelligent question. Simple intelligent question. We could see when the Igbo leader. Hold on. We could see when the Igbo leader went. Wait, hold on now. Calm down. We could see when the Igbo leader went to Buhari to ask for Nnamdi Kanu release. Is that right? Have we ever seen where the Igbo leader went to the Obe Onitsha to talk about the insecurity going on newspaper one day about this ESM? Have we ever seen it?
What is this thing about newspaper?
No, it's talking about not only should they be doing it, they have to be seen to be doing it, because it's all about optics, It's all about
one man. Unfortunately, you also.
If you do the way you want to do it, you can get the country now. You can get the country. You are watching.
Hold on.
I'm not talking.
Sorry. Yes, you will heard plenty from you, but no, not to support what World Peace is saying necessarily, but just to amplify that the point. Because there's some tepid denouncements from the OHANAEZE space and the Eastern space, especially when it was at its most potent, the agitation, the condemnation was tepid and somewhat watered down and weak. It was just like official position, not a full-throated, robust damnation. So they did not damn them robustly. They just tepidly, just for reasons of nodding to the government that, look, we don't support it because we have to say that to you. So I think it's a robustness in their condemnation of IPOB that World Peace might be speaking to, that they were not throaty enough.
Okay, let me say this. I think I can.
And would you agree with that as well? That they were not throaty enough. It was just circular.
I don't agree with that. They were throaty enough, but the kind of reaction that you want maybe someone from the Southwest or Midwest or South to have will not be it will not be the same, because you have to look at the proximity between those Southeast leaders and whatever and IPOB themselves. They are sharing the same geographical space. They are even next door neighbors to some of them. So you need to understand that the condemnation that they did is even more than sufficient. That's why up till today, a lot of those people are scared of moving alone without security in the Southeast, because of how they've publicly and how they publicly distance themselves and even condemn the organization. Many of them cannot just walk around anyhow because they don't know who they'll meet. So if you're expecting them to have the same reaction as someone in Oyo Alafin or someone in Edo, they can't have the same reaction because those people are far removed from. They are not sharing the same geographical space with these people. So they were threaty enough. And this issue of newspaper you're talking of people going on the news media, on being interviewed or in Arise TV, in channels, in all these national broadcasting media, and they are denouncing this thing, and you're still looking for newspaper. What kind of argument is that?
All right. But anyway, there's a robustness that people want to see, that they wanted to see.
Did we see that robustness? That the type now you're referring to, did we see that robustness with the northern politicians as regards to the bandits and even Boko Haram? Did you see that? Why are you people looking for a non-existent?
They were fighting with them, visiting them and all whatnot.
They were even giving
and when
them
you read and rehabilitation, it became a different thing.
I didn't know rehabilitating
everybody will raise their ear against
repentant Boko Haram members, and you're not talking about robustness and throatiness. What?
No, it's not repentant Boko Haram members, by the way. It's repentant terrorists.
Before they were
and now that the designation of terrorism has been cemented against the IPOB members, so if they want to repent, I'm sure they will put them through the same rehabilitation program that they are putting the Boko
Before
Haram
we had
through.
The Boko Haram repentant bandits or repentant whatever. Did we see that robustness that you're referring to?
No, we did not. We did not see any robustness from the north. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's why everybody was complaining. If they did not, it's been biased. That was the complaint. As Buhari
so right now, people have stopped complaining.
Nobody has complained. Nobody has stopped complaining. And we're trying to tell the Igbo people not to fall in that same category. But you people keep insulting people like you think people we hate you people. At least you just Benin will say the story you see from a distance will not blind your eye. You see it coming. Listen, I don't need your hate. I don't need your hate. Listen,
no, let's not personalize it. But
I'm not listening to your hate. You're the one fighting for freedom, not me.
Yesterday I left early. Listen, your hate at this point is not what we are looking at, because we see what we need to have is factual, reasonable, and truthful conversations. Forget about your personal views or feelings about Igbo people. It's not important. We don't need all that love or hate. Let's just have factual conversations.
Okay, now can I interject? See, you getting Biafra is still like you contesting for presidency. You need all the region vote to get it. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
We need all the region of where? Nigeria?
Yes.
To get Biafra?
Yes.
Okay, explain. Maybe you
have. Okay, now let me explain to you. First of all, if you want to ask for a referendum, every governor, your senators, your local government chairman have to trigger that space first. Then you need the backing of the rest governors and the senators and House of Rep of the rest state to back up that what you triggered. So I can force the Nigerian government to include that in the constitution. Now, if you want to go to war, you cannot go to war alone. You need an ally. You will need other states to join you to fight the Nigerian government. So
okay, let me ask you, my brother. Sorry, you said they need the governor. So when the people of
no, I use the governor as we are educated now. I just use as a general. I don't want to personalize.
No,
general
you need
statement.
The governors. Wait now, calm down now. You need the governors of other parts of Nigeria. That's what you said.
Right? Only the governors. I mean, senators.
All right. Let him just address that. This conversation is petering into a pettiness somewhat. Yeah.
It's not pettiness. If it's no. It's not. Now, you just made a comparison with Scotland and whatever. So they needed the people of England and Wales and every other place to back them before they had that referendum.
Yes, so wait, let me answer you.
Well, honestly,
the United Kingdom Parliament. The United Kingdom Parliament had to facilitate the referendum for Scotland, and that involved also Northern Ireland, Wales, and England.
Thank you, one man. Yeah. You answered the question.
So, what is that? That they had to facilitate.
Yes, it was an act of parliament that brought about the referendum.
That is fine. That is fine.
But that cannot happen in Nigeria.
Who said it cannot happen?
The constitution does not warrant you to do that, and even if you trigger it, it will not work.
What World Peace is saying, which I understand, is that for you to have the referendum, you still need the buy-in of other ethnic nations within the Nigerian state to facilitate that referendum for you to then make that decision. So it's not just
you mean for the referendum, you're saying, listen, woman, I think this is where we are mixing it. You mean before the referendum is even that opportunity is even created in the first place?
Yes, that's
yes, no problem.
That's why I say it's just because you don't listen to each other. Yeah.
No. What he's saying is that I thought what he's saying, or he didn't put it clearly.
That you think the whole country will do the referendum for you?
Yeah, the whole country will do the
it will be your referendum, but for it to take place, the country has to facilitate it. And then you would need the cooperation of everybody to agree that a referendum can take place in the southeast. Everything is too intermeshed. But World Peace, for reasons of time, let me go to Brown Berry.
Thank you. Maybe you understand me now. Thank you, woman.
Yes. So let me go to Brown Berry, who we've not heard from for a long time.
And you should concentrate more on Edo, the problem they are having there. This one, you people are too passionate.
We don't have problem Edo. We don't have problem.
Concentrate on the. You don't have problem. You want me to send you?
I know you are laughing.
We do not have. Every problem is local. Every problem is local.
You want me to send you?
Don't tell me you don't have problem. There's problem all over Nigeria. Don't say you don't.
Adale Koko. Maybe I talk very fast. I just said, hold on.
The problem they have in Edo is incest, where they're always marrying their own.
See,
hold on.
Boys, wait.
16-year-old boys are becoming Yahoo boys. All these problems you people have there, you're just passionate about looking for something.
Hold on. Hold on.
Even all these Fulani headsmen, everything we are hearing all of that.
They call that
I just said, maybe I talk very fast. I said every problem is local. Every problem is local. I mean, everybody has a problem. You say I should face Edo problem. I said there's no problem in Edo. Every problem is local. Meaning every state has a local problem. Every state, what I mean, see, you are educated now. You should understand my language. Every state has a local problem. Simple. I'm not saying another problem. I'm saying in general the ESN. I'm not saying particularly one state. Don't personalize it.
My brother, charity begins at home.
We are not saying we're not doing about charity.
Numerous problems.
We are solving our problem. Nigeria is solving our problem. Everybody's solving their own problem. And you, IPOB is robbing the problem
solve your own.
IPOB on other states.
Solve our own.
No, they stop insulting my people. Stop calling my people your own people. Start telling me my people is this.
No.
In my state.
All right.
Your people may decide whether they are your own or they are not your own. So you are speaking. You can't speak for the whole of the people. Just like the way I answered you in the first place.
This kung fu fighting is usually in the evening, so the afternoon is usually gentle. It's in the Ajane Koko. It's usually we do soft blows. We do the fighting in the night. So let's
go joking. It's joking.
I know. You mentioned the word Igbo, then in CB they come calling.
I know you will jump out.
You mentioned Igbo in CB they come calling. Even if it's in mass, it will come charging too. You mentioned Igbo. How dare you? But let's go to Brownberry. Brownberry, are you still with us?
I'm here.
Good to have you, Brownberry. We've not seen you for a while. So the redesignation then somewhat of IPOB as a terror group, the acknowledgement that they are indeed an anti-society organization. This seems to be the new thinking of the United Kingdom. A lot of people are wrapping it around the oil that they're no longer able to get from Russia, and they're now focusing on Nigeria. But the rebracketing of IPOB, nevertheless, as a terror group, and UK taking a policy position to go heavy against them. Does this serve into Buhari's hands, our Brownberry?
Yes, it does, but not Buhari. I've seen this coming because of the atrocity that has been going on recently.
You are breaking up somewhat. Are you moving around?
No. I just started one. Can you hear me clearly now?
A bit better, but
okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
That's better. Carry on.
Okay. I said I've seen this coming because of the atrocity that has been going on by the unknown gunmen. It's been very terrible what has been going on in the East, and I know the international the whole world is seeing it, and I know Nigerian government has been persuading the UN and the international community to acknowledge them as a terrorist organization. But they said, no, we can't acknowledge them. But with the recent things that have been happening, with the recent killing, beheadings, I think they play into the hands of the international community. And UK has already put a stamp on it. And I think it's just going to keep falling.
And to the thing coming out of OHANAEZE Indigo, asking that the Eastern aspirants for the presidency, they must first present a solution to the insecurity in the Southeast, because if they go to the national space to aspire to be president, that's the first question. That is somewhat hypocritical for you to say that you are the solution to Nigeria's problems when your space is hemorrhaging so heavily. So the pressure then by OHANAEZE on the lead Igbo aspirants to bring forward the solution to the Southeast insurrections. So what are you making of that? Is that clever politics by OHANAEZE?
I mean, that's what it should do, but that's going to be very difficult because, like in CBD was saying, I mean, these people, I mean, they have become very bloody, and these politicians are very scared. And that's what they should do, because that's what all the aspirants from the north at that time, even though they were with them before, but when they were aspiring, they were all hitting Boko Haram hard, that they are going to do this to them, they are going to fight them, they are going to I think they should start doing that. They should start saying that so that people even if it's not coming from their heart, but they should start saying that, because if you're not trying to convince people that you are, I know that some of us, we know that at that time, I mean, the northern state countries was boiling, and Buhari still came and became the president, but
how do you anticipate somebody like Peter Obi, because Peter Obi is the golden boy?
He's our golden boy.
Yeah, how do you anticipate him negotiating the Biafra IPOB question? Because he has to contend with that question. They will ask him to take a position, so he cannot say he condemns violence, because that's just too easy to say, because they'll press him. So they'll press him to the point then where he has to make a decision, either to be harshly and firmly critical of the Biafra narrative, or to show support for the Biafra narrative. So he has to take a position, not just some ambiguous political position, he has to take a strong position on the IPOB Biafra narrative. So how is he going to negotiate that? Because OHANAEZE is accusing them of tactically circumventing that topic. But as we get closer to the business end of politics, they cannot escape it. So how will he negotiate that question?
I think what they should do is what Soludo started, by calling these people and say, look, let's come to the table and negotiate. What do you want? What can we do for you? Then you give them a wiggle room and say, oh, we want you to, this is what we're able to do for you. But if you don't stop all this in the next month of, then you say, okay, you start dealing with them. That's what Peter Obi should do. Not only Peter Obi, I think all the aspirants from the East will come together and say, okay, what should be our policy towards these people? Let's give them this time and this time. If they continue like this, if we continue seeing beheadings, killing of unknown people, just killing people anyhow, it's really disgusting. If they don't stop it, we will start raining, fire and brimstones on them. That's it. They should start saying that. You understand? Because this is not this is not the East we know. They should start saying that, because they can't be afraid. Oh, die now. They should start saying that, so that people will know that yes, these people are ready. Because you can't say you want you want peace with destruction. Because one thing I don't like is when you see something that is going wrong, you have to say the truth and say. Because for me, I used to be. I called before and I said, I used to follow Nnamdi a lot. I used to listen to him, not used to, I was consistent. Even while I'm driving, I'll be listening, But when you see someone is going wrong, when you see something, you will just say, no, this is not good. But some people don't even talk. Let me finish talking, okay?
I want to ask you
don't say anything. Shut your mouth,
sorry.
Please.
No, don't ask him to hold on now. Hold on. Hold on. No.
Are you insane? Are you mad?
Please, they are not talking to
you. Insane, Brownberry. I think you're insane. Maybe.
Hold on. No, nobody's insane. I've stepped them down. I'll bring them back on screen. But Brownberry, no, that language was too aggressive. We don't. The level of aggression was too much. But let Ntibidi interject, because Ntibidi does interject, and we do allow for it. But if you don't want him to interject, just tell him you are not yielding the space. But let's keep the tone. So gentlemen, please. Gentlemen, please.
Or maybe is he new on the platform?
It's not new now. Brownberry is an old boy of the platform. I think he feels you interject too much. Is what it is really.
I think he thinks he knows what I want to say or something like that.
Yes, because he was about to be critical of Nnamdi Kanu, I suspect, and he was anticipating that as soon as he's critical of Nnamdi Kanu, you will come running, and you came running.
And
just like he thought you would come. We all knew you would come running.
My brother, mother, calm down.
As much as we're on this platform, you have to be careful the way you talk to people.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
It's okay, CBD. Calm down. It's like you that hardly get angry. Your anger comes.
Look at that. Alexander was praising you yesterday.
Yeah, CBD. Everybody praise you now. Your anger hardly come, and when you get angry, we cannot stop you.
Blackberry, you responded like a commander, a military commander, just like me when I was.
All right.
Blackberry, continue. I beg. We are listening to you.
All right,
I was going to ask this.
Yes.
Like for people, for people that are saying all this, what I was going to ask is that, anyone here agree that before IPOB or whatever, ESN and all these paramilitary narratives that people are pushing, before all these things started happening, were IPOB members, when they were non-violent or whatever, were they being killed or not by the security forces of Nigeria?
No. All right. No. Let Brownberry continue with your train of thought before Nsibidi interjected. You were saying that you used to even drive in, just religiously listen to Nnamdi Kanu, and then you started to pivot at some point. So take it from there and carry on.
Nsibidi, I'm sorry. I want to say I love you and I'm sorry, but stop interjecting. Just stop, please. Okay.
How can you stop when one man is telling you that it's allowed on the platform?
It's allowed.
But not to the frequency that you do it. Not to the frequency that you do it. You want to micromanage every single word that everybody says.
It's not micromanage. Everybody interjects. I think it's just that.
Nobody interjects as much as you in CBD. You are just as soon as you hear one word, every single word, you monitor every single word. You were prefect at school. You were school prefect. It's not school anymore.
I was even an head boy one man.
We know now. We can already tell. You can already tell. I was a head
boy in Lagos in my school.
Hold on.
Well, you're not head boy today, so let Brownberry speak. Brownberry, back to you.
In CBD, what did Nnamdi Kanu went to do in Kenya? Can you tell me?
Babe.
No, let him see it, because one thing I do not like is that when you're following someone, okay, when the person begins to lie to you, and the person begins to to go wrongly, you have to, because none of IPOB members have ever told us, or even why, because I don't have anything against Nnamdi Kanu, but they should, maybe if he was here, would have been able to tell us. But people know, they should tell us, why did he go to Kenya?
Okay,
do you have a theory? Do you have a theory on why you went to Kenya? No, hold on. Let Brownberry hold the floor. Do you have a theory, Brownberry?
I do not know why, because I know. But what I know is that was done. Because you can't go to a country like that when you know that you are, when you know that you are one of the most wanted person in the whole of Africa. You can't do that. You understand? So why did you go there? And nobody, are they going to tell me that nobody knows? But let's just forget about that. But at the end of the day,
was he most wanted by the Nigerian government or the world? Was he?
It was the most wanted by Nigerian government.
Nigerian government, but Nigerian government has no jurisdiction over other people. And what they did there was international kidnapping.
I know, but Nigeria. But hold on.
It was arrest, not kidnapping.
American does this every time. What would we call America? We say they are brave, right? Okay. So I'm not that I'm not supporting that. What I'm saying is that as a government, you have a right to do whatever you want to do if you can get your wiggle, if you can wiggle your way through it. You understand? Because Nigeria is a powerful nation in Africa, and when they ask you to do something for them and you don't want to do, they can kick against you. So what I'm saying is that he's already there. He has already put himself there. So we are, I don't know if it's prayer we can pray or all this begging. It's not going to work because it already happened. So let's just move on and see how we can bring.
Just to what you just said, should the OHANAEZE, should they retain their dignity and stop asking Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu anymore? Because they every time they do it, he just flaps his feathers and he just mocks them. So this visit to Ebonyi State now, they've had several meetings in Abakaliki, the OHANAEZE elders, and they've strategized and calibrated, and they've even spoken to the space that this coming visit will be a golden opportunity for us to perfect everything and ask Buhari for the release of our son. And when Buhari got there, he said, look, your son, his matter will be determined by the courts. So he did not even give them any room to give them a graceful landing or a walk back from their position. He just dismissed it out of hand. And there was a time also that the most senior of seniors in Igbo land, the people of real age and real importance within Nigeria, they got off their comfort within their region. They went to Abuja and said, look, Mallam Buhari, please, give us this boy. And I think his name is Amechi, a senior man. He said, give him to me on my authority. He said, give him to me on my authority. I will guarantee him. He put his reputation there, and Buhari just dismissed it. So should they stop begging for this guy and just say, okay, you do with him what you will. You can't kill him twice. So let them retain their dignity instead of letting this Mallam mock them all the time on this Nnamdi Kanu narrative.
Say, let the court decide. Buhari will be out of there in the next 9 to 10 months. So they should just stop begging. It doesn't really make sense.
This is what I was driving out to.
Yeah, they should stop begging and say, oh, come on, it's not going to work. But Buhari will believe him. Buhari will never release him. They will kill him. Buhari
and they know that they won't release him. So
Buhari, they will not release. Even if Buhari want to release him, people will tell him, don't do that. You know, but another government will release him, but not Buhari. They should start begging. They should just focus on this presidency, how to consult other people. And I'm not saying that they need to consult because the West didn't come to consult when they gave Obasanjo. The North didn't come to consult when they gave Buhari either.
You know,
so
Nnamdi Kanu will either be released by December or latest in March. So those will be his release dates, and it won't be anything to do with the court. The court will probably jail him, or he will get clemency.
Yes.
So either as a parting gift, a parting gift at the end of Buhari, or as a cleansing gift by a new administration.
Yes.
But all of this begging is when it is politically expedient to gift him, they will gift him back to the Eagles.
Yes.
So Buhari will say, "Oh, I have listened to the voices of the East, and somebody as senior as this." That will be around about November, December. But certainly not within this period. They will cage him.
I don't even think it's Buhari that would do that. I think the next government will do that.
He may do it just to say as a parting gift to the Igbo to try and clean himself out. Or the new guy will do it as a clean slate gesture. But certainly with the first quarter of 2023, Nnamdi Kanu will be out. But he won't be out until the last quarter of this year and the first quarter of next year. So forget the begging. Don't let this mala.
If we get an Igbo president, the Igbo president is going to quickly beg Buhari to release him, because it would be very bad for an Igbo president to come and release him.
Yes.
Yeah, so he will quickly tell Buhari to quickly give him pardon, because if an Igbo president comes there and release him, that would not be good. You understand?
But a Yoruba president can release him.
A Yoruba president can release him.
Igbo president will not release him.
No. So because it will not be good.
Not be good.
So
that's what we are saying here, but they'll insult us if we say it. So it's okay.
The case is so sensitive now.
The cases against him is very weighty.
And again, it's not the first time Nnamdi has been. Sorry, it's not the first time Nnamdi has been arrested. And he came out. You word pressured Buhari that time. Everybody agitated for Nnamdi Kanu that time.
Of course. When it was,
but this time they are going wrong, and we are trying to tell them, no, don't go like this. Then you start insult. We don't hate you, but do it. We are trying to help you so you can help us.
So, I'm agitating for an Igbo president.
Nobody's insulting anybody here.
No, you are not saying you here. No, you here. I'm saying about
Ipob. Don't worry now. Don't start all this. It's like we have school prefect here, but even the school prefect is the worst behaved. Are you sure you're a school prefect in the worst behaved?
In CBD and Mike, and two of them be the tribal name here. I mean,
look at that. You know,
Mike will come if he's not Yoruba. There's nothing. If CBD is not Igbo, is nothing.
I think you usually come on this platform once in 6 months.
I listen every time. Even if I don't come, I listen every time.
Then definitely you should have known the way I do my things, and I'm not that tribal person you're describing.
Oh, it's okay. All right. No,
Mr. Brown, where are you from?
My brother, let's move on.
All right, thank you. So let's move on, and let's go on to Nsibidi. Just short comments on this one now, because we fast exceeded time. But Ogboinaya or no, he picks up his form and makes his declaration. And Rational Mind just informed us now that Mefi 2023, he's picked up his form too. Can you imagine the bank manager for APC? He will be smiling, you know, all this every time teaching 100 million. So what are you making of this crowded field of the APC? That's in CBD.
No, can I speak on this quickly, please?
Well, I'm going to round up soon, so it's up to you.
I need to speak on this, please, I beg you. Ogbonaya is a very bright person. You know?
Yes, I read the CV just now.
Very smart guy.
Yeah.
But this Emefiele should be arrested immediately, because as a central bank president, you can't do that. You can't. You know, it's against the law. This is crazy. How could you? Man, okay.
It should be apolitical. I mean, it's a government functionary for the benefit of the country, but you are picking up it's only in Nigeria.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway,
what?
Yeah, in CBD. Do you share Brownberry's indignation?
I don't have any problem. You know, one man. It's other people that is saying don't talk when I'm talking that they should.
No, I'm saying about Ogbonaya Onu.
Oh yeah. Well, is it just to him or to the entire? I think the whole thing is just it's almost becoming like a circus. I think it's a circus already, because all these people, they are just showing how much corruption that has been going on under the administration and the kind of money that. Do you know how many people are coming out and all these people bringing 100 million and lying that some people are buying form for them, you know? But it just shows the, and also maybe there's an agenda, with that. Maybe nobody knows, or maybe the agenda is just to collect all the money that these people have. Maybe they believe that these people have embezzled a lot of money, and they just want them to bring them out, and they're telling everybody pay 100 million. So, I definitely agree that. I don't agree that, and I don't know about people going to. You have to, before you're going to jail now, they have to first convict you and take you through the normal process and all that.
All right. And to Buhari's rejection of the OHANAEZE plea to release Nnamdi Kanu to them, the court will decide.
He said the court will decide. Yeah, the court will.
So should they stop begging for him anymore, since Buhari has already made it clear that it's not going to release him to them? So it's because it's getting somewhat embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting embarrassing, and but at least it's there on the records that they tried to look for a political solution and they did their part, So they should continue doing that. What will they do now? If they carry weapon now, everybody will come out and say, "Oh, the East are carrying weapon." So they should be using the begging now. See, that is what everybody wants. So they should keep on asking, talking nicely. That's the way they can do it. So they should continue with that. It doesn't matter what Buhari says, as long as those people are making efforts, to look for that solution. So they should not stop. They shouldn't stop, if you ask me. They should continue.
All right, brilliant. So thank you, Nsibidi. So we've gone past the 2-hour mark, and guys, you know what that means. We seek to round off. So interesting and engaging conversation as ever. I didn't even think it would pick up because I started so late. I just 10 minutes I said, okay, let me just do one. But I'm glad I did. As ever, all the big names in CBD, Vin, Jan Lekoko, World Peace, Babati, Brownberry. So all the big names, all the noted characters on the platform, all present to entertain you or to educate you even more with their views on matters Nigerian. So it doesn't end there. It carries on in the evening. The conversation never stops. So avail yourself of the session again in the evening. So I'll leave it there. Carry the conversation on within the comment section, but here.
Thank you, man, and good evening, everyone. Goodbye, everybody.
Here in Ghana. You didn't even give us. You have to give us one here in Ghana before we go.
Yeah. My phone number is entering rumorage in your hand. You collect my phone number, you drink call. That phone number is very valuable.
I didn't see it. I did not see it.
I gave it to one man to give to you now on Instagram now.
Okay. Maybe
that's one man.
Okay. Vin, stay there. I don't think I've passed it on to you because I don't have your number. So
let me give it to you.
No. What I'm going to do is I'll pop not Brownberry, but I'll pop World Peace's number in the private chat. And then you can pick it up from there. So I'll put it with your permission. Are you happy for me to do that?
No, please send it to that's my personal number. Send it to Vin directly, please.
Okay, but I don't have access to Vin directly. Is the thing.
I've sent it. I've sent it. One man, I'll send you on this. Check the.
Okay. I'll take your number then. So I've got Vin's number. So then so I'll send it to him privately.
So send it to me on Instagram.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, brilliant. So and peace. So let me make sure I've copied this. So I'll pop this to you right now. So thank you guys. Yes.